All right, so today I wanted to go over, get a lot of questions about photo editing, how to, I've been getting questions about how to make photos fit for the slider. The dimensions for this photo in this slider is 960 by 320 pixels. So, well, what does that mean? Well, that's just it's a measurement for online dimensions, and it'll make more sense, once we start looking at how we can edit photos. But first of all, I'm using Firefox. I don't know if you guys use Firefox or not, but Firefox for doing web design or working with web tools, it just makes it a lot easier. Like I have, it's called Pixlr, Grabber, and Picnik installed in my browser, so if I want to use them, I can just go to my tools. Let's send just the visible page to Picnik. We'll see what happens. So it's opening up a new tab, and you don't need to download any software for any of these. They just work right online in the browser. And there's a picture of the screen. So I can come in and pick out what I want. So let's say I wanted to crop something that's 960 by 320. I can make that dimension. Now, interestingly enough, you'll notice that fits right over that photo, and so I can just crop out. Maybe I want this down here. I can crop it, and that's the photo I have now. So it just makes it really easy and also free to do some editing. So you can get the Mozilla add-ons, and you don't have to do this, but you can. For me, it's just quicker to open something up. You can see how easy I could send something to Picnik. You just go to, in Firefox, you just go to Tools, Add-ons, and then you want to get add-ons. So it gives you where you can go in and, although I already have them loaded, but you would just type in what add-on that you want, and it'll come up. See, I already have it installed, so it's not showing. Or you can just go over to, if you Google Mozilla Firefox add-ons, it'll take you to this screen. I typed here. I typed in. If you type in Picnik, which is what the tool I just used, I can then add it to Firefox. But I already have it. As you can see, it's in my Tools drop-down. Picnik. There's Pixlr. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But the goal of this mini seminar is just to give you some options for, other than going out and paying $600 for Photoshop. There's some tools that basically will do the same thing, minus a lot of the really high-end functionality that web designers and web developers use, which for the most part people don't really use anyway. Okay, so how would we use some of these photo editors? So I just showed an example of Picnik by doing a screen grab and then cropping out what I wanted. There's some other options that you can do inside of Picnik, which would be we can click the Create tab, and maybe we want to add some text to the image, which we can do very easily. So let's just do cactus mountain. We're going to add it, and we can see it's here. Now maybe we just want it on the picture that's just the cactus and the mountain. And I've got the little arrows. I can grab it around how I want, and I can come over here, and I can actually move around it here. I can change the color of it very easily. Picnik's a free program, but there's also some extended functionality. Like if I wanted these fonts, I'd have to pay for it. It's not that much. I think it's like, to get the upgrade, it's like $3 or something. It's very inexpensive. I can change the size from here. Really easy to do. You know, make some changes to your, your photos. Maybe I want to put a sticker on it. You know, rather than just putting in, plain pictures, you can actually put some information on them. I can make it smaller, bigger. Maybe you want to have an offer on your photo, call for whatever. Instead of just putting photos in that take up a lot of real estate on your page, you can put a little more information on it. Okay, so when I'm done, I can save it. Again, it shows me the new dimensions that I made. The only thing with Picnik is it's going to give you options of either saving it as a JPEG. You can do a JPEG, PNG, GIF. If you want to save it as a PDF. Typically for what you're going to load on your website, you're going to use JPEG or PNG. JPEG's better for photos. PNG is more for like web graphics or buttons that you would make. So typically you're going to use a JPEG. And I just want to, sometimes it'll put in a .png extension. I don't know why it does that, but you just want to make sure you take that off, because otherwise you'll have snapshot.png, .jpeg, and probably isn't going to work very well. And what else? Effects. I mean, there's, I can really, make some cool effects for my photos instead of just putting the same kind of photos everybody else is putting up. And you can play around with different effects just to see how they work. Night vision, that's probably what you want, right? Or maybe you want something that looks like the 60s. And all of this is free. Maybe you want something that looks like a puzzle. That's a premium feature, all right. Kind of cool. I don't know. All right, so that's Picnik. Again, I keep it in my tools in case maybe I see something online. I can also grab the image. I can send it to a client. All right. Now, if you've used Photoshop and don't have it, but like kind of that style, you can go to. Let's go back. You can go to Pixlr.com. That's Pixlr.com. And this is, I call it the poor man's Photoshop, but it'll do 95% of what you need it to do, or well, actually probably 100%. So I'm going to import an image from my computer. Let's bring a house in. I want to make this bigger, so I can just drag my stage, is what they call this, and I can start to add some effects to it. So again, if I want to crop it, output size. Well, again, maybe I want to put this picture in the slider. It needs to be 960 by 320. So I'm going to get my crop tool. I can crop 960 by 320. There it is. Obviously, it's not going to get the whole thing, but I can select what I want to show up. I'm going to click the select. And then I would be able to put that into here. Now again, I've added text to this slider. I can do that with Pixlr as well. Maybe I want to put, let's put some text on here. I'll make that text white. Let's call it cul-de-sac lot. And I can come in and make it, pick the kind of text or the font that I want. go with that. Let's make it bigger. Style, maybe bold. Color, maybe we want to change it. Very easy to do. Well, actually, let's make it white, because we're going to take a look at how to work with the layers. This is like going to be real basic. I don't just want to give you an idea of what you can do with this. All right, so now we have this here, which I can move. Maybe let's put it over here. Maybe we want to add, there's some effects that we can add to it. So I just clicked on the effect tab here, and maybe we want to put a drop shadow on it. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but there's a little drop shadow behind there. So I can just click on it and I have some controls, maybe make it lighter, and I can see it moving. Bevel. I can give it more of a custom look to it. All free. I can change the color of the drop shadow. Now it's pink. I don't know. All right, and I mean, there's some other things that you can do in here for, maybe you want to figure out what a certain color is back in the sky. See how this changed? That's the color that area picked out. Now I picked the color of the house. So maybe I want to match text to something that's in the photo. This will actually fix, when you take photos, it'll take the red out of people's eyes. What else? Any questions at all? Anybody have any questions?
We're all pretty quiet. No, I've got a good photo editor, so this is probably, but I'm going to take a look. So, well, we can use anything we want to get the results we want, right?
I'm sorry?
I said we can get any photo editor we want to get the results we want to be able to work with our website, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference. We don't have to do anything, right?
I'm sorry. There was someone breathing into the thing. I couldn't hear.
I just said we don't have to use Picnik. We can use any photo editor.
You can use. I'm just showing you things that are. I've had people ask me how do I edit my photos. These two I think are the best free ones that I've seen, and they're
okay.
Picnik is probably the easiest. It's more intuitive. Pixlr is more like Photoshop. So if you've used other photo editors, you'll appreciate how this one works. It's very, very similar. It's actually made by Adobe, I believe, and it's very similar to Photoshop. So I've used it. I've got Photoshop on my PC, but not on my Mac. So occasionally I'll open it up, but it works. It's just like Photoshop, really. So this wasn't going to be a longer class today. This was just more an introduction to some Photoshop-like tools. So if you have any questions on anything else, I'll be happy to answer that at this point.
Okay.
Anyone else? Quiet bunch. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, today was just a shorter class, so just want to thank everybody for showing up, and we'll send out next week's invitation shortly.
Okay, very good. Thank you.